Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and the place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, what day is it? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and a great day. Listen, we're gonna get right into it because I watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last night. I made some notes, but then I rewatched it a little bit today. Well, I made half my notes last night, and then the last half today. I'm gassed up with 2 drinks. I have my hot cocoa that I have pretty much finished. So there we go. A fun drink and a necessary drink, which is my water. So let's get right into it. We started off with Angie and the scroll. Now, this was her way of saying that Lisa is the source to leaking all of the information, like leaking information about Bronwyn's past and just trolling to say that Lisa's the troll. So here's how they did it. How she did it was she said that there was an account. Angie says there's an account that's been trolling her. And the account, which the name is Candace Story 7, would always talk shit on everybody except Lisa. Like, it would troll Angie and it would say just all good things about Lisa. And they found out, like, Lisa, no. Angie and Whitney did like the investigation. And as it turns out, Candace Story 7 was linked to Lisa's phone number. So Andy's asking Andy's asking was this your phone number? And she wasn't answering that. Lisa says, well, Lisa did say it was her phone number, but it was a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. If it was a lie, then she would say something like, then she would say that she's going to call, I'm going to call one of my 6 lawyers, or she'd call Sean and she'd tell him to go the distance. I'm thinking that that's true. And this is at the point now where everybody's like screaming over each other and talking over each other. Listen, I love the Real Housewives, but sometimes the reunions are a little much for me because, I mean, there's all the everybody talking over each other and screaming at the same time. And then you can't catch just like everything that's said. But this is where Andy got up. In editing, they made it look like it was so much worse than what it was. He got up, he just got up. He didn't storm off, but he just got up, walked off and said I can't with you guys. It's because nobody would listen to him. I mean, I've seen worse. At least nobody pushed him down like Teresa did. Okay. And then Heather also said on Watch What Happens Live that just wait, I have proof. I have proof that Lisa is the one who leaks information and who leaked information about Bronwyn's past. I was expecting something. There was no real big bombshells. It's just basically Heather was talking about Angie's scroll, Angie's screenshots on the scroll. And then the fact that Lisa had said, Conwyn fraudport. That's it. So then right after that, then Lisa has to bring up, okay, so what about these pictures that you still have on your phone? And it was about this dude called Rolling Thunder. And then later on, I think they said it's Rolling Thunder fuck. But Rolling Thunder was some dude that Meredith was getting with while she was separated from Seth. Her and Seth had been separated and she was getting with this dude called Rolling Thunder. Listen, I wish we could see a picture of this Rolling Thunder because I'm going to tell you, Rolling Thunder to me, I picture like a motorcycle dude. Like I picture like a dude who's like real big. When I say big, I mean like real built and maybe like bald and like, I don't know. That's what I picture. I wish we could see a picture of him, but I don't understand why. Well, I mean, I understand why Lisa would bring that up, because then that would shift like focus. That would deflect focus from her onto Heather. Okay, I get that. So then they take a lunch. Well, Andy comes back. They take a lunch, and Meredith, no. Whitney and Heather are talking, and they bring up the fact that, you know, Meredith really isn't saying anything in Lisa's defense. She's being awfully silent. Lisa and who was it? Mary, Angie, and Bronwyn were talking, and they noticed that too. But then Lisa and Meredith were talking, and they're just like, you know, we just have to, Lisa's saying, we just have to have each other's backs. And, you know, she was saying, Lisa was saying, how did I do out there? Meredith was like, good, you hit everything you needed to say. We need to have each other's back. There was that like 1 second before they went to commercial that I had a feeling where maybe Lisa was maybe thinking like, I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of a look on Lisa's face that made me think, is she in her mind thinking, why aren't you speaking up for me a little bit more? I don't know. It might have just been me. It was probably just me. Okay, so then they had Mary Cosby is real. Mary Cosby was keeping it really super real this season. She was like the mediator. She was the one that was just like calling people out. She was the one that was pushing people to kind of do better. I'm going to tell you what, when they showed her talking about how Robert Jr. was supposed to go to the reopening of the church, and then he didn't because he had gotten high, and watching her reaction, Mary's reaction, watching that scene, that broke my heart. I felt so bad for her. They did address Robert Jr.'s incarceration. He's incarcerated right now. He's going to be there until February 2026, so February of this year. And then the judge is going to decide like how much longer he has to serve. So basically, what had happened was his ex-wife. So he went over to his ex-wife's house. She has a restraining order. He went over there because he thought that she wanted him to save her, and that's not the case. And so he was taken to prison, to jail. And listen, this makes a whole lot of sense. This is like the tough love, but it makes sense because she was like, listen, I would rather he be there than somewhere else, because at least there he's not using, like he's not going to be using. And I mean, this is tough love. You know, you got to this is what you got to get through. This is your rock bottom, and hopefully this is going to wake him up. She doesn't go and visit him because she doesn't want to see him. She doesn't want to see her son in prison. Robert Sr. does not go. He sends him like a lot of books, and Mary talks to him every day. Andy had given his condolences on her mother passing. She really doesn't have any Mary doesn't have any regrets in not making amends with her mother before she had passed, or for not talking to her mother before she had passed, because they hadn't talked for like decades. I get that. I mean, I guess the hurt was just so deep that there just was no making amends. They did mention the documentary. Her sister is involved in this, and she is like, listen, I've had so much hurt, so many things that hurt me in my life. I just put this on that list, and I just kept moving on. I mean, these same kind of things that are being said about Mary have been said about her grandmother. She did mention that she takes comfort and solace in the fact that there's a lot of Real Housewives fans who have stood up for her. I'm going to tell you this much right now. You have not heard me mention one single second about it. Well, I might have mentioned it, but I will not be watching it. I will not be reviewing it. I will not be talking about it. Because listen, after everything that she has been through, that she's been going through, you got to pile this on her as well. Plus, if I'm being completely honest, that, whatchamacallit, you know, Adam from Up and Adam, who's involved in it, I think he's a little thirsty, looking for some action, not action, looking for, you know, trying to get his name out there. I mean, his name is already out there, but I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. Go after, if you're going to go after a cult that's up in Utah, how about if you go after the Mormon church? They're probably doing far worse than they think Mary is doing. So no, I won't be watching it, and I stand behind Mary on that. Okay. Then there was a really interesting like back and forth between Mary and Lisa. And Lisa is saying, Meredith and I are great friends. We've always been friends, great friends, good friends. And Mary, listen, in the back of my mind, I always have, when Lisa says something like that, in the back of my mind and all through my mind, I think, wait a minute, what about that hot mic moment? And Mary was like, well, even when you called her a whore and said she slept with half of New York. And listen, Andy's face and the other lady's faces was like, oh shit, yep, she said that. And right after she said that, then didn't Lisa Barlow get all defensive, dropping that GD on Mary, because she's frustrated. But listen, you don't gotta go drop. Listen, Mary is a mother of God. Mary is like a woman of God, and she's very strong in her faith. Don't go dropping the GD bombs on her because you're frustrated. And Andy said it exactly. That hot mic moment permeates every person who watches Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They can never get that hot mic moment out of their minds. You know, it permeates my brain tissue anytime I see Meredith and Lisa together. I mean, they were like, it wasn't easy, but I'm going to tell you, if I was the Meredith in that situation, somebody said that about me, fuck you. You would never be my friend again. You wouldn't even be my acquaintance again. Okay? No. You wouldn't take up the same airspace as me. No, thank you. Okay. Andy then says, well, so Lisa, were you surprised to see that Mary took your side in all of this? I'm going to put this video right here.
Lisa doesn't care. No, Lisa is all about Lisa.
Look, that right there. Now, if you noticed, Mary says Lisa doesn't care. Lisa's all about Lisa. And that one part right at the end where Lisa gives that kind of look, that right there tells you everything. Yes, all Lisa cares about is Lisa. It was that little tiny smirk that if you weren't really looking at it, then you wouldn't see it, is that smirk. Mary ate Lisa down completely on this, especially after she mentioned Lisa bringing Cameron onto the show. Because when she brought Cameron onto the show, listen, that was Lisa purposely trying to hurt Mary. That's exactly what that was. And then Lisa immediately went into disassociating. I don't know if she thought that if she just sat there like a statue, that no one would notice that she was there. I mean, she was still blinking, but that was like, either she was disassociating or she was trying to figure out what else she was going to say, you know? And through this whole thing, where was Meredith? Was Meredith like helping her at all? No, she wasn't saying anything that was going to help her friend. Mary, and when Lisa said, Mary, you don't move forward. This whole season was Mary had moved forward. Last season was Mary moved forward, and Mary had moved forward this season because listen, who on that cast before Brittany had gotten there, who on this cast did Mary not like at all? That was Whitney, little girl. That was Whitney, the bobblehead. And this season, she actually went out to lunch with her in Greece. And she didn't like Heather. She said she looked inbred. And now she's fine with her. She's friends. Don't tell me she doesn't move on. Okay, next we get to the plane incident. The plane incident, this is where I was hoping that we would get like the big reveal, and there was nothing. This kind of all fell flat. There was nobody taped anything. We were all thinking, everybody was like, if there is footage, I guarantee you there's footage, and they're going to be playing it in a big reveal during the reunion. And that did not take place. So, and Andy had said that it had showed a clip where Brittany was on Watch What Happens Live. And they had said something like, Andy had asked a question like, do you have more proof that what you said Meredith did, that she actually did on the plane? And she was like, maybe, real coy. So the question was, what's the evidence that you have to prove that Seth's been dipping out on Meredith, other than this TikTok? So Brittany says, it's not proof. It's not proof that would hold up in court. So it's hearsay. Oh, I don't know. See, half the time, I don't know if it's difficult to believe Brittany. But so the deal is Seth, she said that Seth told someone who knows her, who told me. So one of her friends heard something from Seth, and Seth told Brittany. And what was told to her friend, what Seth told to one of her friends was that he has 2 girlfriends where he works. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. To be honest with you, I honestly would not be surprised if he was dipping on Meredith, because once again, you're in the other side of the country. You've had marital issues before, where when you had separated, you both dated other people, Rolling Thunder. And I'm sorry, but if a man is working all the way on the other side of the country, listen, there were 2 men on this season who worked on the other side of the country. One of them we know for certain cheated, and that was Todd. So I don't put much faith in Seth that he didn't cheat. I think he did. I mean, but I wouldn't say that based on what Brittany's saying that somebody told her. So all of this. Now, the people that are involved, the names that I mentioned were Brittany. Oh, I didn't mean to go like that. Were Brittany, Seth, Jared, and Meredith. Nowhere in there did I mention Bronwyn. So why is Bronwyn catching all these strays with Lisa having to talk about how well Jared told Brittany that Todd goes to Dubai to get ED pills. Who cares? The fuck cares about that? And then they showed a clip and they were talking about it at Amy's party at the beginning of the season. You know, the one where Bronwyn handed Lisa's ass to her. Yeah, that one. Who cares? We weren't even talking about Todd. That's going to happen in the last. That right there is going to be happening in the last, the third part, the final part. So I don't know why you needed to bring that up once again to deflect. But here's the thing. You're working, once again, Lisa, you're working super hard for your friend, Meredith. Meredith isn't doing nothing for you. Okay, so there was a question, why not record? If this happened, why didn't someone record it? I had thought that myself. There were two questions that I had asked myself when this happened. This was number one, why did no one record? That's a very good question. And they did say, well, listen, the way that everything went down, well, no, wait, what did Heather say first? Heather said something first like, well, if Whitney would have pulled out her phone, I would have thought, who's the fucking idiot who's pulling out a phone? What kind of moron is pulling out a phone to record this? I mean, it would make sense to record it because it's, her word against your word. But then they did bring up a good point that like last season when someone pulled out their phone and recorded, it didn't end well. Like there was a lot of yelling. So I could see why Brittany wouldn't pull out her phone. I mean, that makes sense, but still, why didn't production film any of it? And another thing that I did notice with Meredith is Meredith really seems to remember every intricacy of what's said and remembers everything when it tends to benefit her. But if it doesn't, then she either just doesn't answer, as we'll talk later, or she just kind of dismisses it. Okay. And Meredith did bring up a good question. And this was my second question on this incident, on the plane. The question was, if all this happened and if I was acting the way I was and I did all this to Brittany, then why did someone not switch seats with Brittany? And why did no one check on me? My big question was, why did no one switch seats with Brittany? The check on me, Angie and Heather both said they checked on her. And Meredith was like, yes, Angie and Heather, you did. Whitney was like, I checked on you as well. And Meredith was like, that's a lie. You did not check on me. I feel like she did, and maybe she just didn't remember. And she just doesn't like Whitney, so that's why she's like, you did not. And the question, why not switch seats? Brittany said we couldn't switch seats because we were in descend. We were in descent mode whenever this happened. When the worst of this had happened, we were descending. But the way she made it, she's like, we were nose down. If you were nose down, that meant you were getting ready to crash. I mean, that's what I would think. No one's ever like, and here we go. I can see, like, let's say you're going to, I don't know, you're flying back to Salt Lake City. You wouldn't be like, and here's the plane, and you'd be like, and there it is. Here is the airport. And okay, they wouldn't be like, you know, they wouldn't be like nose down. They would be like that. Do you see? I'm gonna be a pilot next. And then Heather, I think, said we were descending at the time. Okay, Meredith said, listen, I didn't pull her hair. I didn't throw wine on her. I didn't touch her hair. I wouldn't touch her hair. What's so wrong with her hair? Is it made of like, what's it made of? I mean, she said it's from human hair follicles. So what's the big deal with her hair? She didn't touch her. She didn't engage in anything with her. And then the thought was maybe when she was getting up, if her hair was like, if Brittany's hair was touching her seat, maybe when she got up and she grabbed and she, accidentally grabbed her hair. Listen, I'm going to tell you, there have been times when I was commuting into Pittsburgh for my job, and I would be I would fall asleep on the bus, and somebody behind me would, maybe I was like this. I would always put something protective down on the seat. I would never put my hair just down on there, on a public bus. And if I was like this, and somebody would go to when my hair was a little longer, and they would go to pull themselves up. I could see that if maybe their hair was like a little longer and they accidentally, that I could see maybe, but she said that there was nothing. She didn't do anything. Okay. The question to Meredith was, did you have anything to drink? Did you drink anything before boarding the plane? She didn't answer that question. Listen, I'm going to tell you this much. I will say to my dying day, what I think she was in, I think she had taken a sleeping pill, and she had some alcohol, because I can't remember what it is, but it was like some kind of like when you have a sleeping pill and then you immediately have alcohol after, like maybe a wine or two after, and then you go into this state of kind of almost like a half coma, where you are just so hazy and you can still function, but you don't remember anything. You don't remember anything that happens. That's from the one woman that I had heard on TikTok explaining, she would take an Ambien and then have like a wine, and after that she was still functioning. Like her and her friend went out to dinner, or went out to dinner and had a drink, had dinner, and maybe went to shopping or something like that, and they don't remember anything the next day. But so there was no answer. She was like, I will dress up later, but let me tell you the reason why I don't like Brittany and we have never been good. So the reason why, and this is about a nail tech. There's this local nail tech. She's like, she supported a bigot. And the deal is, there's this nail tech it's a local nail tech in their city. And he, I guess I don't know if he was, but this gentleman probably came to came to the salon, or I don't know, but he had encountered this older gentleman. I think he was an older gentleman. And he had said, are you Jewish? And he said, yes. And then this nail tech made some really nasty, disgusting, anti-Semitic comments about him. And it was on the news. And it was on the news. It was all over like social media. And so people went and left negative comments. I don't know if it was on Yelp or Google reviews, but online comments were just terrible. So he reached out to Brittany and Jared for a review, a good review, and they gave him like glowing reviews. And Brittany, she said, Brittany didn't call me to explain any of this, and you know, say I'm so sorry and explain what happened, and she didn't. And then her and Brittany she brought it up to Brittany on the RV trip, like off camera, I guess. And she said that Brittany was screaming at her, was yelling, and was going off. But eventually Meredith accepted an apology. And Brittany's like, nope, that's not how it happened. She said this nail tech reached out to her and was like, hey, I'm local. I did Meredith Marks nails. Would you like for me to do your nails for free in exchange for like, an online post? And she's like, sure, okay. So did nails. She said he did a really good job. And then someone called her and was like, hey, did you hear about this nail tech? And she's like, no. So she says, I called him. I was like, what's up with this? Are you anti-Semitic? And then when he answered, she was like, okay, that's it. I'm taking down my review. Don't ever call me again. And that's it. And the question was, well, did you know what he had said? He had made this disgusting comment. And she said, I did not know that. I didn't know this whenever I had gotten it done. And she's like, how would you not know that? Meredith was like, well, how would you not know? It was all over the place. And what else? And then after that, the whole thing just went into like, Brittany saying, I'm not a bigot. I'm not an anti-Semite. And I did reach out to you and say, I'm sorry. And the way that she says that it went down though, I don't buy that, because I cannot see Meredith Marks letting Brittany Bateman like cuddle her like a child and apologize to her as they were crying. That I don't see. I don't see that happening. Listen, Brittany is some actress. I mean, I'm not saying that none of that happened, but when she wants that attention, I'm not a fan of Lisa Barlow, but Lisa is right. When she wants some attention on her, and she wants a sympathy for her, she does know when to turn it on. And she stormed off. She was like, I will not. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people ganging up on me. Don't leave me alone. Leave me alone. And then she walks off. Don't follow me. Don't come after me. Everybody's like, okay, girl. All right. But listen, this whatchamacallit, this episode of the reunion, it made me think, you know what? We got to get one. I know that they would never get rid of Lisa Barlow, okay, but to either demote Meredith down to friend of, or get rid of her, because she don't bring nothing. She doesn't bring anything to the show. She just doesn't. And another thing, they announced the cast for like Real Housewives Real Housewives road trip. And who was it? It was, wait, let me think. Let me write this down. I'm going to have to write this down for me to remember. Okay. So it's Portia. It's Portia. It's Kyle. It's Giselle. It's Vicky Gunvalson. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's Lisa. It's Lisa Barlow. 1, 2. Who else? It's Portia, Kyle, Giselle, Vicky, Lisa. Who is the other one? If somebody can tell me, please let me know in the comments. Portia, Kyle, Giselle, Vicky, Lisa. Who else? Who am I missing? Luann. It's Luann. Okay. And so what they're going to do is they're going to travel around the country, and then they're going to stop in cities that are like, that have been on Real Housewives, and they're going to have like over 60 people there. Listen, before this cast dropped, I had heard that Nene was going to be on it. Now listen, I'm going to say my favorite housewife of all time is Dorinda. So I was hoping and praying Dorinda would be on there, and Nene, and neither one is going to be on there. Even though Dorinda is my absolute all-time favorite, honestly, I'm going to tell you, the queen of all housewives and the MFN best housewife of all time. Like, honestly, if you're talking about someone who was made for TV, that is Nene Leakes. Like, listen, honestly, if it went for Nene Leakes is like, if not the most iconic, then seriously, just, she's an icon as far, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's not just a pen. Oh, it's not just a pen. I might have ADHD. I don't know, but undiagnosed. But look, it's a pen, but then look, look at that, it's a flashlight. Hey, Mom, this is a pen and a flashlight. This pen out here. It's a pen and a flashlight. Did you know that? Okay, so I didn't know that. She didn't either. Look at that. Look. Okay, so yeah. So that's who's going to be on the show. Portia, Kyle, Giselle, Vicky, Lisa, and Luann. I was thinking I was going to watch it if Nene was on, but listen, I'm going to tell you what. Ain't none of these people. I'm getting a little kind of tired of Luann. Lisa Barlow, no, I can't. I'm not a fan of hers. Vicky, I never watched OC, so I don't know. Giselle, I'm kind of over Giselle too. I'm over Kyle. Kyle's boring. Portia's fun. I mean, Portia might be the only one that I might watch for. I mean, I probably will watch just to see Nene. I'm going to tell you what. They need to bring Nene Leakes back. And if I'm being, oh, okay. So there's that. So, okay, we got off onto that. And also, listen, this week I saw this interview where a woman was interviewing Ben Affleck and Matt Damon about their new movie on Amazon. It's called, or no, on Netflix. It's called The Rip. I have not watched it. I might. But the question came up. Listen, this woman from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Lisa Barlow, said that she was hanging out with you at your premiere at Sundance, and that's the reason why she couldn't go on this girls trip for the show. Is that true? And he was like, what? And she's like, yeah, it was in Utah. And he's like, I have not been to Utah in like in like 10 years or no. So she was lying. How about that? I love it. Okay. I love it. So, okay. I'll put that down. All right. So listen, if you watched, this is a long video. If you watched, please let me know what you thought. And if no one told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there so that it comes right back at you. Please, let's put kindness out there because it is free. Also, please be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy so you make it through. I love you guys. And I probably will not be seeing you tomorrow, but I will be seeing you on Friday. All right, everybody have a great evening and a fantastic day tomorrow. Okay, bye.